Privacy is your ability to selectively reveal yourself to the world. And now, since we're talking about privacy, tell me about your privacy technology, OPSEC. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, I'm illustrating my privacy through a background of bills burning, right? No, man, privacy is something that I have been fascinated by for as long as I can remember, actually. What I found extremely interesting was how much my surroundings at the time didn't share my views, right? Growing up in a socialist country, especially in communist countries, that there is that prevalent approach of, you know, nothing to fear, nothing to hide. Like, well, why do you need to keep your data private? It's our data, right? Everything should be public. Luckily, I have discovered the cypherpunk philosophy, where the part of cypherpunk philosophy that's among the most attractive to me is this realization that as we advance, as technology advances, digital societies like advance, privacy will be the most valuable thing essentially that you can have. Data that stays private is actually the data that will truly define you. If everything about you is public, we'll just make AI model of you. And those AI models, if they really have all of your information, they will get to the point where they can overwhelm you because there can be infinite copies of those AI models. So what also cypherpunks have realized very early on is that as technology advances and more information is being produced, more and more people will start going information insane. And that's what we're seeing that's happening right now, especially people that are chronically online on social networks. You can tell who are the people that are essentially insane. They spend every moment of their day defending themselves and their identity against these. They may not even be real, but it's like perceived attacks. So again, Cypherpunk's manifesto says this really well, that privacy is necessary for open society in digital age, because as we advanced with digital technology, simply it's like, can you defend your privacy? And if you can't, you start going into this information madness mode where you're chronically online. You'll have terrible life, and the society itself will degrade. So this is why I take privacy very seriously, and why there is this paradox of privacy. You need to be public in order to promote privacy. I have found this sweet spot of this is my online presence, and it's intentionally different than my appearance presence in private life, because I want to be able to click a button and turn off Uncle Rockstar identity. Like, I'm done with Bitcoin for the day. I want to get back to my private life that's nothing like this and recharge myself for more public work.
Your name, Uncle Rockstar Dev. For people who don't know what a Rockstar Dev is, tell me that.
You know how all the companies, it doesn't happen as much, but you as a Rockstar Dev, there was a time where all the companies had these ads where they say, oh, we want to hire a Rockstar developer for our team. And at the time, I was starting to work on BTC Pay Server, and I needed like a NIM online to support Nicholas on X, right? So I came across this comic, and yeah, I found it really great. So I'm now sharing. Your viewers can see it. It says, like, we're looking for a Rockstar developer to join our team, and the dude just takes a monitor, throws it out of the window, shoots drugs, passes out, and they say, okay, he's good. We're hiring this Rockstar developer. Essentially, yeah, this is Uncle Rockstar Developer, and it's my tailored identity for my public work on Bitcoin. So it's a meme, really.
Right. I was running a company and managing a lot of developers, and there was a huge difference, right? Even juniors who've been there for like 1.5 years and stuff like that, they still didn't come anywhere close to the productivity of the most productive developers, right? So that's what you would call a rockstar dev. And I was one, Nicholas was one, right? But I think something is changing. Like something is seriously changing. I don't know how much you are diving into all this AI shit, but things were happening, but especially in the past month and so. Right now, I spent 3 weeks of developing and I 100x'd my outputs. And then I'm looking at there are so many people who are doing so much better and faster than I am. So the gap between the junior developers where they were and the best developers widening, and there is no rockstar dev and normal dev anymore.
Superstar
Now,
dev.
yeah. What do you think about that? Do you even notice this is happening?
Someone that also a lot of people haven't been following my career as much, so they get really surprised to learn that, for example, I coded Strike. And as part of that, I also hired tons of developers, 50 developers that I hired and then structured into teams. So I'm well aware of the paradox of rockstar developers. It's also there is 10x engineers. People use different terms for this paradox. And what I see that will happen with AI is that you will essentially enable the rise of 100x or 1000x developers. And maybe we will see that meme of one developer having 10 jobs. And you actually will want to hire this one developer because now everyone is a programmer, but people don't even know how to read the code that they generate. So how do they actually know whether they have security issues? Or what I see on some projects, man, I'm helping out people that vibe code. You will even give them a security issue, and the way they will fix it is not good. But they can't tell this. They're just trying to get their little app out. If security problems happen, they're like, okay, we'll deal with it some other way. Going back to your first question, this is why I think more and more people will start taking their privacy seriously, to the point where you will have way more people like me. They're going to create their online avatars. They're going to separate their public persona identity, and they will use that as a way to stay sane in otherwise insane world. Because what happens now when you register for some service, you use your legal first name, last name. God forbid you use social security number, your email that you daily use, and then that data is taken by some hackers or third party. Or terms and conditions of most of the useful services nowadays, they're like, okay, we sell your data. What are you going to do about it? So adding on to this whole conversation on rockstar developers, like I think what we're going to see is this mindset of, if you want to be a developer, you better be like a rockstar developer and take that seriously. And then if you don't find sitting in front of a laptop and coding exciting as Nopara and me do, go do something else. Go do something that excites you as much as coding with Nicholas excites me and Nopara, right? Or when you look at someone like Nicholas Dorier, that guy is insane, man. You experience that when he wants to create something and he gets into this mode, he codes like 16 hours a day. He doesn't want to go to sleep. So yeah, that's the future I see, and future that involves more Rockstar developers and hopefully more privacy.
Yeah, well, things are changing now. Like you said that some people don't even read the code. I don't really read the code anymore. I just get the AI to generate it, and you kind of start to have a dance with the AI, right? Like you start to develop a smell that what works and what doesn't work, and you can
taste.
It's a different skill that we have to learn. But then again, these skills are also deprecating themselves. The autocomplete, like you're writing some code and you're auto-completing so much better, right? Now, like AI really brought this feature into the forefront for a year or two, maybe. And now it's like you have to forget that skill. You don't need that skill. You have to work on a higher level. The thing is that you're working on something that handles a lot of people's money, right? And that's a very different thing than what I'm working on, which is just a game.
The thing is, at the end of the day, you still need to be able to read code on some level. Or if you find that whole thing boring, then you need to find who is the person that is going to pen test, security test, audit your code and your solution. And maybe it can be once a month thing, because of course, severity of vibe coding something that handles money versus something that is a game of longevity. Security profiles are different. But I would argue that people that are even doing longevity game are not thrilled about the prospect of all their data being taken. So there is that. And this is again why we'll come back to everyone will have online internet avatar. So my main point is someone like you, Nopara, that has not only coded a thing, but coded a thing that was as used as Wasabi was. These are the people that have spent decades coding manually. And now what we're going to see is the great big filter. Who among these people will make that 10x, 100x, maybe 1000x jump? It's really a rise of what Levels IO is doing. It's like one person startup. Like, who are the people that are able to spawn AI swarm around them and then create technology that is then used by others, because you no longer need to create Apple size company or IBM, God forbid, where you hire full departments of lawyers, and then those lawyers and marketing department and branding their actual moat. Nowadays things are moving so fast, by the time your lawyers write a lawsuit, it's pointless. So I'm excited for this brave new world, and looking forward to how Nopara will be part of that. You're becoming more public now, so let's see. Maybe I write AI bot that clones you and then starts fighting you. It's like, this is fake Nopara. Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, I actually already did clone myself, and anyone can actually talk to that clone, even you it's on the public internet. Let me ask you about BTC Pay Server. Well, first of all, BTC Pay Server is something I did not quite get for very, very long time. like many years. I was working with Nicolas, but I started working on privacy on Sabi wallet, and he started working on BTC Pay Server. And every time he explained to me, "Oh, it's like a glue that glues together a bunch of Bitcoin services." It's like, I don't understand. What is it supposed to do? Eventually, I started to understand it a little bit more and more and more. But now, just last week, when I implemented payments for the Longevity World Cup, then I have found that situation where it's like receiving payments online is pretty difficult. And if you want to do something like Bitcoin and normal fiat shitcoins, then it's just gonna be ugly. But somehow I ended up my very first thought was to use BTC Pay Server, and in that very moment, just a day ago, before I started the implementation into BTC Pay Server, you guys or cooks added the Stripe integration, which was the normal fiat shitcoin stuff. So now the payment UI that you can create with BTC Pay Server and fiat shitcoins is like the best payment UX that there is. Like, I just, holy fucking shit, it's so clean and everything.
Yep.
It wasn't that easy, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
It's a Trojan horse, because once you do set up this and then Stripe bans your account, you can switch easily to Lightning. You don't need to change the checkout, because that's unfortunately the future that awaits us. Is money is more and more used as a tool of control. So people have experienced being deplatformed. Like, you open a Stripe account, right? You start accepting payments, and then they're like, okay, our legal department. I mean, they don't even get to that point. They just like, your account has been suspended. Goodbye. So this is where I expect more and more people will be using this Stripe plugin, but then switching to using Bitcoin. A lot of people use stable coins because they can't deal with volatility of Bitcoin number go up. But yeah, that's what's ahead of us. And anyways, BTC Pay Server, would you let me present what BTC Pay Server for me is really? And my favorite explanation of BTC Pay Server is that it's a Tinder for Bitcoiners. This is where crazy Bitcoiners meet and start working on code base, on fast code, and as a result, their lives improve. Over the years, we've had many contributors to the project, and I guess universally for all these people, their lives have improved, and then they have contributed to BTC Pay Server code base. We have fun on the project. See Nicholas making fun of cooks turning BTC Pay into Fiat Pay Server. But the biggest thing with BTC Pay Server, as we were building it over the years, is that we ended up with this modular architecture where we don't try to capture, we try to encourage people to take BTC Pay Server and adjust it for their own project, for their own need. So look at this, for example, BTC Pay, this Bitcoin people, they literally forked BTC Pay Server, used the Greenfield API, created a Flutter app, and then onboarded how many? This is, I think it's 270 in the title, 270 merchants in Italy. And year one, they have 400K transaction volume, which is amazing for someone starting their project. So they don't need to build all the code. They can just build a mobile app in Flutter, plug it into the backend. Others use BTC Pay Server as well, like Unbank. They have BTC Pay Server in the backend, over $40 million of volume for their buy sell Bitcoin solution, and they have these Bitcoin ATMs. And kudos to them for being a supporter of BTC Pay Server Foundation. Another example, Namecheap uses BTC Pay Server in their backend. Over
I
70.
just paid to Namecheap with Copay Join through
There you
BTC
go.
Pay Server and Wasabi.
Amazing, man. They didn't need to develop this technology, and they processed over 73 million in BTC transactions. Imagine they use third party. So that's like 1% fee. It's probably like 2%, but let's say optimistically they need to pay someone 1% of that transaction volume. That's $730,000 saved over the lifetime of this. I know when we asked them for support, like Unbank was gracious to give us support, but we asked Namecheap for support of foundation. They were like, "Oh, we don't have any money." It's like, okay, guys, I guess use the FOSS technology. Doesn't matter. So over the years, we really paid attention to expand BTC Pay Server in the direction where it's modular, where everyone can use them in their own way. And we were even attacked for having shitcoins in code base. So version 2.0 of BTC Pay Server it was crown of all the work done previously, where we got to the point where Bitcoin is only in the main code base, right? And every other coin can now become plugin.
Okay, I want to pull on something else because ultimately I came back trying to use Bitcoin, I don't know, 1 year later, right? 2 years later after I went to longevity, and I see the exact same shit. It's like whenever I go to Taiwan, everything is new and new things are happening, and come back to Europe, we're still stuck at the Middle Ages. I was quite disappointed to see the state of Bitcoin at the exact same space where I left it,
Yep.
But unlike rage quitters would do, that they start doing other altcoins, I don't see meaningful improvements in altcoins either. And I think the Bitcoin space is ripe for a disruption, but not in a disruption of BIP 110. I mean, you have that opinion. I think we can live with the waste, but ultimately, I don't care about this issue because we need to make Bitcoin anonymous and fast, right? we have some real payment network work on this thing, and that's and I think someone has to come along who actually builds this, because I know how to fucking build it, but I'm not in a position to to kick the bus.
To carry the cross on your back as much as you did for a number of years, like a decade, right?
Yeah, I don't know how far I can still go before I'm taken out as well, right?
Yeah,
People in my line of work have been falling. I've been falling one after another. Can I ask you something?
absolutely.
You know anything about Kali? Kali, I've been seeing him pushing out projects one after another and faster and faster. What do I see? I see, all the eCash stuff that he's been working on, the beat chat stuff, right? And now OpenClaw basically an OpenClaw wrapper, Clawy
Yep.
IO. So what's up with that guy? That guy looks fucking productive.
Yeah, I he's been in a community for a number of years, but it's it's that he just came into situation right now that there is he's a good environment. When your Jack Dorsey launches BitChat and then you create Android version of that, and you get to collaborate with other cypherpunks in a good environment, of course you'll be productive. Like every day you get a positive reinforcement. So this goes towards what I was just saying in my previous answer. Like you as individual need to find a place to environment like that, and then you'll just be productive, right? You need to find who are your uncles, right? And who are the people you look up to and enjoy, be productive. So he's doing great work. So people that are watching this interview, look into what Kale is doing and use it as inspiration for your own projects.
That's right. All right. Well, let's talk about creatine, Shabi.
Let's go. What you're doing with longevity, it's actually really attractive to me.
Right. You see, well, people have been trying to live forever since forever, since they succeeded to conceptualize the concept of death. I've been working on this competition, trying to create an entirely new sport out of nothing, and created a competition called the Longevity World Cup. And there, people competing with each other on biological aging clocks, right? So the idea is that if we find a metric, the abstract problem of, people call it death or immortality or aging, but if we really want to zoom into like what this problem really is, then it is about, we have to somehow become younger, and the scientists, those are actually trying to measure the, not really your age, but the health of your body. If we want to be specific, it's how likely it is that you are going to die in 1 year, or how likely it is that you are going to die in 10 years. 10-year all-cause mortality is the most prevalent metric what we are trying to optimize for. And these biological aging clocks are validated research that is trying to correlate with 10-year all-cause mortality and some other things, because of course this can't be a simple topic like Bitcoin, right? Like it goes deep. But what's the point? The point is that now if we are measuring each other on these biological aging clocks, then we can see who among us are the most successful in actually reducing their biological age or reducing their all-cause mortality. And those people who are actually successful of doing that, those are the people we should really learn from, right? Because you can look at all kinds of biomarkers, but ultimately, the hardest outcome there is that how likely it is that you're going to die. So of all the health metrics, like how fat you are, how much VO2 max you have, all the health metrics, ultimately the likelihood of you dying is the hardest metric. So now the question is, what biomarkers are correlating with that? And you see, like, it is important for scientists, because scientists are trying to develop, trying to test in controlled controlled environments, what interventions reduce your biological aging clocks. So developing these biological aging clocks are the most important things that we can do. But on the other hand, what happens in the laboratories, how does it come out of the laboratory into practice on actual humans?
Yes.
Well, this is how. First, we have to identify those people who are good at these things, who are good at reducing their biological age, and then we can learn from that.
This is why I'm here at this interview, to see, okay, how did you do this? Nopara, it seems in the last year you have reduced your biological age by, what is this, like 8 years, more than 8 years. So, and then in last few months it went up a little bit. So you were partying, but how did you do this?
Yeah. I went to, actually the last month, I went to live in a network school in Forest City, Malaysia, Balaji stuff. And then I went to India to
So
testing stuff. So whatever, I wasn't taking my 100 supplement a day.
okay, that's it. Don't go to Balaji Network School. Your chronological age will increase.
Well, actually, it's a very healthy environment.
Hmm.
My CRP inflammation fucked up everything. I don't know, but for some reason, when I was testing, I was very inflamed. Perhaps the Indian environment was new for me. It was a bit, the air was a bit thick of smog. And
How high are we talking? Like my last measurement is 2.3.
Can you click on the CRP there? It's somewhere.
CRP over here.
So you can now
So
hover
this
over. No, go back. Go back.
Oh, 13.
Go back.
It's here.
Oh yeah, that's how it started.
13.
But there you can see. Yeah, you see 339 and in the beginning is 13.
Okay, so this is how you reduced your chronological age. Like you had some chronic inflammation.
Oh, I do have.
That's for those listening, they started saying and don't know what CRP is. Like anything over 2 is you're inflamed and you need to find the source of inflammation in your body. It can be.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I just stopped smoking in between. Like I was smoking. I stopped smoking a lot of times, but never for like 4 or 5 months. And despite me stopping smoking, my inflammation went up. How crazy that is.
Oh, you mean here from?
Yeah. I just stopped there like a couple of days before that, I think. Or maybe a month before that, I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, but let me see. CRP. Well, sure, but 1.6 is normal. It seems like something else is a source of your inflammation if you were in India.
Well, 1.6 is actually not very good.
Anything under 2 is normal, and
I
you
wouldn't say
can.
that.
What do you want to go under 1?
They really, like almost everyone is under 1. Yeah.
I
Like
really
inflammation,
wish.
they kill it from their body somehow.
See, I didn't know it was that because you can work out, lift weights, and your inflammation marker will go up, especially if you're lifting heavy.
Does the CRP?
Yeah, it does. From what I know.
It is?
We can.
I mean, I know that normal inflammation goes up, but I'm not sure the CRP also. Probably.
Let's ask AI if you want it to be an arbiter.
It says yes, transiently peaks 24, 48 hour, returns to baseline in 3 to 7 days.
There we go.
So, but then again, I still don't understand where's the health thing coming to you. What's your motivation here? Did you have a health scare or something?
No, no, I am one of those people like yourself that have been freed by Bitcoin. And once you're truly free, in a sense, like financially free, free with your time, you, I think everyone comes to realization that what you want to do from there is continue to create value, but only through non zero sum games, right? You want to play games that, whether you win or lose, they're moving the puck forward, improving consciousness, improving lives of other people. And that's also one of the best things about wealth. If you're wealthy, the best thing is that you don't need to stay in debt to everyone. If someone says, "Oh no, you hurt me or you owe me money," it's like, okay, like here is money, we're done. Like don't let's not have any kind of relationship forward. But I have paid my debts, and I can focus on myself and the games that I want to play. Because another realization people have is that life is nothing but a collection of games that you played. And the choice of games that you play is extremely important because it tells who you are. So unconsciously, you may pull yourself into some games like identity politics game, which is zero sum game. But you may inadvertently get into that game, and then you need to lose ideally as quickly as possible, because if you win, you will take away from someone else. You lose, you get back to non-zero sum games, and then you play those games. And health is one of those games. Everyone should be playing game of health, not in a way where let me go and kill everyone else that's participating so I'm the winner. No, let's play it in a way where if I win, I'm I can provide others with information of what I have done, and then they live longer. And that's where my interest came from. And I went to this health summit that Palestra Society organized to Citizenship. McClusk, one of my best hires at Strike, let me highlight his X profile with the caveat of you may not want to follow him because he has absolute bangers. But no, Palestra Society, they organized the Health Summit, and then Dr. Jack Cruz was there as well. And after this summit, I slowly started researching health. And there are some things that you can do that are extremely easy, and you can extend your expected lifespan by tremendous amount. So in your case, what we brought up, chronic inflammation. How many people, like, if you don't listen to anything from this interview, just listen to this sentence, is like, go and measure your chronic inflammation levels. And, you get your CRP, boom, you get a number that you can now focus on improving. In my case, after Palestra Summit, it was magnesium. I've learned that what are the numbers? Nopara, it's like more than 50% of population is chronically deficient in magnesium, but they can't measure it because the magnesium in blood is just 1% of the magnesium in your whole body. So what's happening for a lot of people, yes, they're aging, but their body is actually pulling magnesium out of their bones and tissues, and all they need to do for the rest of their life is just take 400 milligrams of magnesium, and they'll have significantly better life. So they need to start playing game of health rather than playing game of I'm on LinkedIn and I'm posting every day, right? Now, as they start doing that, they will slowly discover that, yeah, if you take magnesium, it may have what is the form of magnesium and how does it impact your thinking. Because for some people, magnesium will lower their blood pressure, change the way of thinking. So they need to pay attention to that, especially they take magnesium glycinate. But the thing is, they start playing that game and it improves their life. And this is where my motivation came from and why I joined this interview as well.
So once you get financial freedom, and then probably you wanna get a family, because otherwise you're gonna spend so much time on trying to, like, going on dates and stuff like that. uh it's a very time efficient thing to have. Also, you wanna have your plan B, which is, if you really cannot extend your lifespan, then you have to go into the old school longevity strategy, which is having children, right? Now, after you got finance and family done, then what game really are you to play? There aren't really many meaningful games to play. Like, you can try to be, I don't know, like famous or something like that, well known,
Yeah.
elevate your status, or you can focus on your health. So
Your haircut, your appearance. No, I love a saying of if you want to be rich and famous, try being rich first and see if that will do it. Because a lot of people go first for being famous, well known in public, and
it is
suddenly
very
they
hard to be famous without being rich, because people are like really after you, and you have to get your security down.
I don't know about that. You see, you have a lot of famous idiots nowadays. You know, you just need to do something that draws attention, whether it's being there like that Vitaly idiot that was just filming himself being an idiot, and then he finds himself locked into Filipino prison. But then he can cry online how it was injustice, how he didn't deserve it. And people are pulled into the vortex of, I wouldn't even call that a game. It's like complete idiocy and madness. So the problem with all of that is that you are creating an identity that's public and that you do not control. It controls you. And for people that are even like resemble some level of intelligence, is that really a life that you want to lead? I think anyone that's okay, truly intelligent or maybe wise, wisdom is way better measured than intelligence. Like if you're wise, you will realize that you need to identify, as you were saying, like, what are those games that I want to play? Because once I win the game of money, you win the game of money by getting that lump sum of money that you can then leverage to not be forced to work for the rest of your life. Okay, you won that game. What are the other games that you should play? And you brought up game of health, game of family. Although I must tell you on family, the way you presented it, you're such a curious mind, man. Your family's watching this, they're like, I'm Nopara's plan B. Oh, how exciting. No, he doesn't mean that. He just, the way you express yourself is quite unique. But some other games, you should play games that intellectually stimulate you. So this podcast that you're doing, I see it as a game. We could have had, and we had, you and me, conversations that were private. Now we're having a conversation that is public and that I think will be used as a good piece of information, because AI, it's all, that's the end game. AI will be fed by information. What we need to ensure is that information we feed AI with is good, optimistic, positive information. Because so many people are generating content and information that's focused on their fame or destroying certain group of people or their enemies. Man, let's get more content where we are feeding AI with optimism, with ideas to navigate towards good games, game of health, game of family, game of collaboration, intellectual stimulation. So I can expand if you're interested in more games.
So I'm interested in games. I went really deep into the philosophy of games. But you know what? I just wanted to bring something else up here, because you talked about fame, and I did have to consider if I want to be famous at one point with the Sabi wallet, because I had a choice, right? I could have still go 100% lean into it, right? And take all the risks that's coming. And I could have like tried to garner public support and shit like that every time the UN sent us a letter, right? So there was always that choice of poking the bear. Okay. I decided against it, but I want to play that game at one point in the future. I think the time was not right, but you might not like it, but listen to this example. Javier Milei. Like look at him. He went all in. He went all in and became the prime minister of Argentina, and now he's completely all in. And this is his final stand. Like he's actually staking his entire life on it, because the socialist fuckers are gonna take him out if he makes a mistake, right? Like he's literally up against murderers. Okay, so I do actually want to have that final stand at one point in the future. I don't know for what, possibly for privacy, possibly for something else, but like I'm practicing my martial arts skills in the peaceful garden, because like that a man needs to have a final stand at one point. That's the only way to get to Valhalla, right?
Well, not necessarily, but a man will get his last stand in any case. The moment that you die, okay, that's the ultimate last stand. The thing though is, what is truly your character, right? Who truly are you as individual? What does God in this universe need you to do? Because it is so attractive to look at Millet or some other person that publicly can present themselves in such a great way and wanting to emulate that. It's a cute little game. It's beautiful. But is that really why you're here on this planet? And this is where I would argue that Nopara that I know as identity, you're not meant for that. And we can agree to disagree. But in my view, man, you are a genius researcher that has created an amazing product. And every time you were pulled into the whole samurai wasabi conflict, they took from you. And it's terrible thing that happened to samurai founders. They shouldn't be in jail. But this is where the way you navigated everything, I look up to that, man, honestly. And I applaud you because you have put privacy and the end product ahead of your personal fame or whatever you would call it. And also, important disclaimer, because someone will jump in now and be like, no, Samurai, what? Samurai did the fame and stuff. No. And I actually know, yeah, Samurai founders. I found it like amazingly different when I got the chance to interact in person. My point there is we all got to figure out what is our identity, what is our character, and optimize for that. And if we truly, like, that's the game you should play, like the game of going towards the truth. And as you go towards your own personal ultimate truth, this is where that final stand will present itself. But to me, Nopara, you being anything like Javier Milei, no, man, we need you for something else. We need you in BTC Prague with Trezor guys, with like that group of true cypherpunks that where you can really have a huge impact on the rest of us by presenting your thoughts, your ideas in an environment that's welcoming to your thoughts. If you're surrounded by bad people, you will say something that you like, that's good, that's amazing, that you said with all the great intention, and then they will turn it into, oh, Nopara, you're a terrible person, how could you mean that? And suddenly you will find yourself on defensive, where like, what's the point?
I want to ask you one more thing. Might not be the best closing thing to ask, but you just mentioned that you realize that you're probably magnesium deficient. Therefore, you started taking magnesium. And there are a shitload of similar things. So
Yep.
you can make arguments for a lot of supplements like this. And my current philosophy, in fact, it's so prevalent for me that I actually made my nutrition dependent on my supplementation. I call it supplement first nutrition. So the idea is that I can take any supplement that's safe and probably does something good, right? And turns out there are a lot of supplements that's safe and probably does something good. So now I'm taking supplements 6 times a day, no, 5 times a day, plus
My God.
some other ways, not only pills, but 5 times a day pills, right? Because in the morning, before you sleep, and with 3 meals. And in fact, the supplement timing actually is the one from where the number of meals you are eating and the timing of your meals are derived, right? So supplement first and then your meals. And also I started to incorporate meals like let's say chia seeds, which are like, this is a real meal, but I'm deriving it from my supplement stock because it has something that my supplement stock doesn't. So chia or oats, some real, actually a lot of real meals. I'm taking real meals like supplements. I mean, I'm eating them like real meals, but in my mind, I consider them in the same category as supplements. Okay, so what I wonder is for a normie like you know that there are probably a bunch of supplements that could help you, but it's really hard to tell which supplements are those and which are that doesn't make you worse, right? Because I got vitamin B6 overdose Like you don't want to get that. And norm is like you are very afraid of getting that. I did it for science, man.
It's impossible.
But yeah, but imagine normies who don't take care of their sleep, don't exercise regularly, don't eat healthy. They could even benefit much more from supplementation than those people who do all those things, right? So I
Yes.
wonder, then the bottleneck kind of becomes that how many pills are you willing to swallow? And that's pretty much my question here.
Yeah, well, what are the pills that I'm swallowing? I would say that the bigger constraint is, again, what are the games that you're playing? And normies are playing too many disconnected games, in my opinion. What they need to do is they need to capitulate on, say, 3 of the zero-sum games they're playing. And then we all should look up to Tiat Lim. This is where I would encourage you. Our next conversation, you and me, get him as well, because I want to ask him how the hell is his inflammation marker 0.30. This is ridiculous, man. What is he doing? So
I can tell you, I spent my New Year's with him.
what is he doing?
He lives in a fucking gym. His bedroom opens to a gym.
Okay, so it's a gym. It's okay. I now want to know what is his workout regimen,
Yeah,
and
right.
this is where we can pull in normies, because no one started with what, you're taking pills 5 times a day, like 100 pills, man. No one starts with that. People do start with, this is where Uncle Rockstar can give a guidance. You start with magnesium. You start, well, and then as you're taking magnesium, you will learn about the zinc, that you should take that as well. And once you start taking zinc, you will very quickly learn that it can cause copper deficiency. So you need to start taking copper. And then it's a rabbit hole. But for start, I would really recommend it. You actually don't start from magnesium because it's not easy to measure, but you start from vitamin D. And you start from omega 3, because omega 3 is something that's very important for brain. And you need to get your omega 3 above 8%. So there is a little game for you that's every 6 months you can do $90 test, see where your omega 3 is. Is it above 8%? It's not, okay. Start taking fish oil. See if it impacts your thinking. If it's making you depressed, then you need to take algae based omega 3. You need to try different approaches, and suddenly you'll be supplementing yourself with tons of omega 3, and you may even be below 8.0. So maybe you need to fix your digestion. But I would say holy trinity would be omega 3, vitamin D, and then magnesium. So you start with that. And if you start from that, then you will see immense improvement. You'll be in top 20% of
creatine gummies.
And okay, we can go without creatine. Yeah, start taking 20 grams of creatine every day. Maybe that's even better, yeah, because it's super cheap. But you can measure creatine levels. How do you measure that?
I don't know, like put something in your muscles. But you don't measure it with blood test.
Well, is the whole, your thinking will be different if you do 20 grams of creatine per day, because most people do that loading phase of 10 and then you do 5, but that's more for working out. This is again why
I'm back to 10 gram though.
there you go. I'm still doing 20 because I lift heavy 3 times a week. But yeah, for most people, I would even say, man, omega 3 and vitamin D, because you can so easily measure them. And it's a little game you can play every 6 months. If you're looking to really invest yourself in health game, there is Function Health in US, where you pay $365 a year and you have twice a year test of around 160 metabolic markers. But beyond that, listen to Nopara's interviews, because next one we are getting Tiat Lim with us, and man, I want to see this guy's what, like 54, and he reduced his age by 20 years. Man, I want to hear, okay, what workouts did he do to look like this in 54? I want to know.
Uncle Rockstar, thank you very much for coming, and make sure to stay a rockstar developer even in this AI era. So, what do you wanna shield us in your last words?
Don't be like Uncle Rockstar, be like Nopara. That's my ultimate shill. Subscribe to his podcasts and listen to more health related game content that's going to come out in near future.
And if you need to accept payments online, check out BTC Pay Server. Thank you, Uncle Rockstar, for coming. Peace out.
Thank you for having me.